Hello and welcome to What Are You Saying? #Ways, where we talk about topics in the news as it affects us all. I am Osayuwa Mesale, and today we brought our friend of the house, Bofa Mene. She's going to join us
Friend
as
of
a
the
guest
house.
co-anchor. Thank you for joining
Thank
us.
you for having me.
Yeah. Laura is feeling like a super mommy.
Yeah.
Laura, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. It's just excited. It's so exciting to be on the show with my friend again.
Soul friend, soul sister.
Honestly,
Yeah.
one day we're gonna share our story. It's really a very interesting story.
Love story.
So it's more like finding people like neutral people who are just willing to understand who you are as a person, which is
Very
good.
rare to find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how are you, Uwa? Let me ask you today.
So last night, it wasn't Chivido that caused traffic. It was the fact that all the roads were flooded.
Yeah.
No
And
drainage.
there was, the rain kept coming and coming, and the entire road, Lekki Ekpe, all the way down to, if you know where my office is, I went to Mobile literally to get fuel, and I came back. Between Mobile and here is technically a 5 minutes drive,
Yeah.
but we spent 2 hours. As soon as my driver got to the office, I said, I am not going home. That was how I slept in the office. And so I left this morning.
I was on the road for 4 hours.
You said it for some people did 8 hours, some people did, so it was just ridiculous.
Yeah,
crazy.
And to think that the Lagos State government already knows that the flood will come. They know that the drainages are blocked. They know all of these things, right? I know our own parts too were very, very lawless, right?
Yeah.
When you see people throwing things off the windows and all of that. And again, they have warned that, I think they said what is it, NIMET now? They warned that I think about 16 states will experience flooding this year. So it's going to be really. So what I have done, I've carried my box. I have plenty locations to sleep.
just changing location.
Oh my
You know,
God.
I have plenty locations. Imagine if I had faced mainland yesterday, I would have gotten to. So at least I would have gotten a decent bed to sleep. So
Yeah, true.
I just packed my box because I actually packed my box. So I didn't know what made me knock. I just said it will be fine.
There's a difference when you're still in your
House,
house.
right? And my house is so. I love my house.
Yeah, it's nice.
My
I think I
house.
just moved to Laura's house.
You're welcome always.
It's not funny. So hey, that was what happened to me yesterday.
Yeah.
All right, so today we're having a conversation as they were preparing us on social media. As they were preparing us on social media, we thought it wise to help ourselves and understand how we can protect our mental sanity amidst some of all of these things on social media, right? And that's the conversation we're having today. And we want to kind of like delve into how to keep your mental sanity when everything is just everywhere.
In your face.
Yeah, and here's what we found as today's quote. It says, "Wealthy people have not disappeared. They are just big and willing to show off their wealth." This one I don't understand the quote, but that is the quote. They have not disappeared, but they are just willing to, show off their wealth. All right, so earlier today, so I think it was 2 weeks ago, I saw a story where they said that China had banned what's it called, display of wealth on social media, and that's what this conversation. And again, of course, off of the back of the just concluded Chivido, there was oppression on social media. So we want to we want to have a conversation around managing our mental sanity amidst social media display of wealth. That's the conversation. Yeah. And when we open our phone lines, we really love to hear your thoughts on this. But first, let's run off on a break to see what we found in today's news. Nigeria, by extension, Africa, is faced with a lot of challenges.
With the growing youth population and very little engagement.
That is a ticking time bomb.
We're blessed people with a diverse culture who have a lot to say.
And yes,
We are talking.
It is important we drive conversations that informs, inspires, and influences thoughts and actions.
If we say there is beauty in diversity, then let us embrace our diverse culture.
We must continue to courageously be the voice of transformation.
As we are the hope for the future.
Yesterday's conversation shaped today.
What are you saying to shape your tomorrow?
We know you have a lot to say, and we are here to hear you.
All right, thanks for staying with us. Now, International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking is a day that recognizes the abuse and trafficking of drugs and is celebrated or is marked on the 26th of June every year to strengthen action and cooperation in achieving a world free of drug abuse. Now, this year, World Drug Campaign recognizes that effective drug policies must be rooted in science, research, full respect for human rights, compassion, and deep understanding of the social, economic, and health implications of drug use. The theme for this day, which is the World Drug Day 2024, is "The Evidence is Clear, Invest in Prevention." The theme teaches countries and the importance of understanding that effective drug policies need to be grounded in science, research, compassion, and full of respect for human rights. This is a very, very important day. Like literally, right? I've been seeing so many videos online, especially we're now in the US now. Is it LA? Like there's a drug that makes them act like zombies. I don't know if you've seen those videos. It's really scary. Yeah. Like literally they are like this, they are gone. Like they are like zombies. They are no longer like in control of their sanity. So they are already complaining. And today I saw a video where the Pope was saying that they should not, why are they legalizing drugs? It's already a pandemic and you're now talking about legalizing drugs and all of that, you know. So now people are coming out, right, to say this thing, because it's actually a big menace right now. One of the actress, the Yoruba actor, well, they call her actor, but she's a female actor, right? She posted a video of how a guy just came and bashed a car in Lekki here, that he just drove and rammed into her. So when they were even trying to chase him, they found him that he had gone to ram into another car. So that when he came, that when they were trying to bang, she could tell that this was not alcohol.
Yeah.
This was something higher than alcohol. And these are the things that we're seeing. You know, remember those two people that we saw naked at VGC, you know, that they were just completely gone. They are taking some drugs. So drug abuse, right, especially illicit drug trafficking and drug abuse is a big problem. It's one of the biggest challenges right now that we're facing, especially amongst young people. So if there's anything, you know, we really must be intentional about prevention. We have to be intentional about prevention. And it's so easy these days. Like you go out, I mean, some places, now if you go out in the club, they'll be shouting, calling the name that you want.
It's practically peddling now on the streets.
It's crazy.
Sad.
I'm really hoping that something is really done about it quickly, because the number of menace that we're seeing on the streets, it shouldn't just go and cause more harm.
Absolutely.
And those are the ones on the streets. You know.
Absolutely. Alera, so what did you find for us in the news today?
So my news today is, I mean, it's really, for me, it's one of the most scariest things that I've always heard as a child. But now in 2024, because of the economy and the insecurity going on, is becoming like more rampant. So a man was arrested with human skull in Ogun State to face trial. So the Ogun State Police Command says that they've arrested Mr. Lekon Akinyemi, who was allegedly exhuming and beheading corpse for ritual purposes at the Otoki area of Abeokuta, the state capital. The residents told the police upon inspection of his father's grave, he discovered that the head of his father's corpse has been chopped off. The information received is that Mr. Lekon has actually been apprehended and he's actually facing trial. Like, for me, it's just one thing that I've always wondered. Like, when you okay, now this person is beheading corpse, people that have already been buried. But I really wonder how this particular issue of ritual killing and all of these things is becoming worse now. And the people that are going to do it, they have family members. Like, they are also human. So how do you even do this type of act? I don't even understand. All for money. Like, it's really something that should be taken seriously because there are a lot of them doing this right now. Yeah. Who are the people asking for the head and how? Like, they should investigate because there are more people.
I like where you were saying that it should be investigated. So there's a case right now. The two girls that met somebody on Facebook and they went to, I think, Port Harcourt.
Yes.
You know, it's so painful. It's so painful that that guy is dead. This is what the police said that,
alleged,
like that he was shot dead and for whether he was trying to escape or whatever. Why would you kill that kind of a person?
Why would you shoot?
Do you understand? Because even if you want to shoot where you will not die.
And testify.
You know, because guess what? There is a huge cartel.
Yeah.
Because for these things to keep happening, it means there's a market for it.
Yeah.
They said they found that he had removed, dismembered their organs and all that. There's organ harvesting happening. There are different things happening. I frankly don't know how this ritual thing works.
Yeah.
But I don't understand it. I don't understand the rationale. But for it to continue to happen, it means that, there is a huge market for it. And for every time, if we had a serious government that was really trying to solve the problem, that kind of a guy that was apprehended, you should safeguard his life. Like your life depended on
exactly
it. Because that's the only way you can trace.
Get information.
He's not doing it in isolation.
True.
So you kill the person now, the entire, so he dies with
everything.
And that's what happens. Because guess what? It's just a phone call that, we have to take the guy out. He's been compromised.
Because even when they survive, you don't find them. There's a guy that killed a girl months ago, maybe a year ago. She was a job seeker in Uyo or so.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, he killed her. And that one, it was sensational because people got involved in the search and then they found out that he had killed her, taken parts of her body. He was arrested. Nobody knows where he is today, if he's really in prison. Yeah, he just went off, like he never... And I really don't think that it's a case of ritualism, right? The fact that we think it is, and ritualism is spiritual.
We just mystify
it. It's like saying that, they're doing something bad and black with it. They could just be selling this part.
That's what I'm
which
saying.
Is a more scientific way to chase it than to say they're using it for rituals, really.
Because organ harvesting is a thing.
Yeah.
I think I heard about somebody that they said he slept he was kidnapped and he slept off or he woke up and he just saw stitches on his body and he had removed one of his
Somebody
kidneys.
went to the hospital in Jos. I remember that story because I heard it, She went to a hospital in Jos and I think she went for something else and found out that they had operated something and taken out an organ. I think one of her kidneys or something.
I'm so scared when I hear that story because...
This is why I don't go to hospitals in this country.
Yeah, something happened to me in the hospital, which probably would be like an entirely different conversation, but I didn't know the doctor that operated on me. They made sure I didn't know who operated on me.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I'm educated, I'm opinionated. I didn't see my surgeon. Never met him.
Whoa.
They snuck him in, took him out.
And I was the one that did that
he's
thing.
the one that, And then I got like complications. I never saw the doctor. So when I hear things like this, like I just get cold because I'm thinking like, oh my God, what could have happened?
No, you have to share that story one day.
Yeah, I have to. I really have to. Never
but your organs are complete, yeah?
Yes.
But there was a
so far,
big
so good.
problem.
There was a big problem following the surgery. And they were just saying, we asked the doctor so, and he said that, the surgery should have gone well. And I think it was so crazy that they were refusing to find out what was going on. Like post-op, this person is sick. Obviously, if you do surgery and the person has a fever, there's an infection. They weren't even willing to check. That's how shrouded it was.
My God.
So when I hear stories about organ,
and you
like,
didn't sue
no
the
ritualism.
hospital.
Yeah.
You see, this is the thing with Nigerians. We more they sue. We should learn to start to sue,
God.
even if it will take long. But let me hear your story, Baba. What did you find for us in the news?
Okay, so what I found in the news, on Daily Post, it says Wike will work with Fubara in Rivers, militant leader Asabuja. So I'm sure that we're all aware that there's some kind of power play in Rivers State. Our Minister of FCT wants to be Minister of FCT and still the governor of Rivers State. But unfortunately for him, he was a very good teacher, or he is a very good teacher, and he's added power over to someone who is unwilling to play exactly the kind of game that he wants to play. And it just reminds me that we are in a country where men are larger than institutions, instead of institutions to be larger than men. And so now, The movement for the emancipation of the Niger Delta, the one that used to be there to fight for our rights, now says that, you know what, they're backing up Fubara. They're going to give him everything that he needs. You know, they're going to restore peace to the state. And you know what it means when a militant group wants to restore peace, because that is the work of the government. So if somebody else, if a third party is saying that, you know, if you're not willing to take up this right, I'm going to take it up, then you know that River State is going to go back to what it was maybe a decade ago when we used to raise our hands on the streets and walk around because people were fighting. But yeah, that's the story that is unveiling in River State.
It is well.
Yes.
So our FEC have stepped down minimum wage memo for consultation purpose. When I saw this story, I said, "Where is Mercy?" Let me come and laugh at her. So you see, so according to the report, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, that's Mohammed Idris, said that there were 39 items on that agenda and all were taken. It says the only reason that the Federal Executive Council stepped down the minimum wage memo from that list was the fact that they needed to go and do further consultations with NLC, TUC, the labor, organized labor, private sector, federal government, and also local government. Because my darling, how convenient. So they said that, you know, the money, they cannot just go and put money now and people will be struggling.
Yeah.
On that note, I'm not going to say more than that. Let me not say, Messi, I told you so. We'll take a break. When we come back from the break, let's discuss social media and how we can maintain sanity amidst display of wealth. Stay with us.
The fact remains, I agree with honestly, I agree with you, that the responsibility of ensuring the protection of our children within the school system is in the hand of the parents. If the parent fails, nobody is coming for our children, the government is not coming for our children. You can see what is going on. What is the position of the Federal Ministry of Education and the institution responsible for universities in Nigeria? In the case of Ajayi Crowther University, have they issued a statement? Have they issued a statement in respect of Veritas? They've not. They are not interested. So when we keep putting our faith in the hands of people that have shown through their ways, their character, that are not interested in governance, but in their own pockets, in things that work for them. Why do we want to pretend?
All right, thanks for staying with us. Now, today we're delving into a conversation, right? You know, and we can boldly say that some of these things, you know, affect people's mental health, especially those that perpetually live on social media, you know. So the U.S. government on June 17 sometimes signaled its desire to slap warning labels on platforms such as TikTok, X, and Instagram. But whereas U.S. efforts are framed as protecting the mental health of users, it is the well-being of China's society that is the focus of Beijing's crackdown. And the regulators there are going beyond mere warnings. Recall that on the 23rd of April 2024, by the Cyberspace Administration of China, the latest Qinglang campaign, the literal meaning of which is clean and bright, aims to penalize Chinese social media influencers and internet celebrities deemed to be flaunting wealth or deliberately showcasing a luxurious life built on money to attract followers and traffic. So on the basis of this is why we're having the conversation around managing mental sanity amidst social media display of wealth. Hey, ladies.
The pressure.
I have a lot to say.
You have a lot. Let me start with you then.
I have a lot to say. You know, when I heard the topic the first time, I was thinking that I want younger people, like really, really young people, to be the people listening, that I hope this conversation is for them. because if you're like 30, 35, or you're in your mid-20s, right, and you still live a life that can be influenced by what you see online, then you have a long way to go. There's so much more we need to protect you from.
If I come back to reality.
No, really?
No, like,
back.
it's not only them. Because even people
Really?
in their 30s
Because what are you doing?
What is that? Even in
50s,
50s and 60s.
I promise you. In fact, with people in their 60s, now it's worse for them because, you know, before now, this would be, you wait for parties. Then when you don't attend the party, you are not part of it, you don't see it. But you will be at home and see just like
Chivido's party. No, you are seeing it because you're online.
That's what we're saying.
All you need to do is go offline.
It affects them too.
My mother
they
will
see it. Facebook.
My mother will call you before the thing. Before you find out, she'll say, "Hey, did you see
oh my God.
the thing that this one that happened to this person? Oh, my daughter." So let me tell you something. I actually am not, I'm not deceived that this conversation is for those young people.
Okay.
Because I know right now that there are a lot of things that are happening. And this social media thing has really crept into the minds of both young and old.
Yep.
So this Chivido, because now the thing with the latest pepper body will happen for social media, Chivido. I just saw a video where they said apparently that there were different tiers of the invitation. That there's the invitation that was for the creme de la creme, the ones that will see in where front. The governors, no, as in the hall where the governors and the big, who is who, 1% of the 1% will be. Right? Some people did not even get to that invitation. The invitation, it is, you see, when people do those things, have you not noticed that people play to, what's the word I'm looking for? People play to these emotions. And that's why it's so easy for luxury to sell. It's so easy for people. Like, if you are targeting me and you want to sell luxury, you don't miss road. Because the truth is, right, I'm actually very, very strange like that. The things that move people don't move me, right? So maybe that's why I have been able to maintain my sanity. I don't really check on you and see, hey, Alero did this, I will do it. But I see people do that a lot, even with me. Right? So because I post on my status a lot, right? And I have noticed that a lot of people that watch my status, I've seen them. In fact, some people even literally pick what I put in the status and go and put it on their status. Some people actually go and resize. No, not resize. They go and react the things I've done and they go and put it. Some people have gone as far as my hairstyle, as far as like they do so many things. Do you understand what I'm saying? That should tell you how much these things truly influence people. Right? So now imagine you're not dealing with somebody that has low self-esteem, that you're not confident in yourself, maybe you're having the imposter syndrome or whatever it is that you're dealing with. You're going through something. And you now see those kinds of things. That is why they say that what's it called? The rate of suicide and all of those things is on the high. Because you are no longer comparing. Before you were comparing yourselves with your neighbors. Now you're comparing yourself with somebody that you don't somebody that does not know that you exist.
Strangers.
Someone at work, a colleague of mine, she used to follow this account that I know the account she's talking about. This woman on the internet, she's spotless, she lives the life of luxury. She lives like nobody lives in her apartment, like it's a hotel. So one day I was talking about the person because I saw their post online and she said, I've unfollowed them. They cannot kill me. That's what she said.
I have them. Is it? I know that one.
She's in the abroad. Yeah, she owns a line of something.
Yeah. I know where they follow them.
Like it's like
those who follow them.
You follow that girl. You're not gonna walk up for that. You walk in. So, but let me hear your thoughts, Alero.
So I mean, it's something that everybody, male, female, of all ages, so far as you are aware, it's something that happens to everybody. So it's more like, what I've gotten to realize is that the people that do not have good, even if you have good home training, even if you have good self-esteem, like you've been able to groom yourself properly, it will take a lot of mental strength for you not to allow it to affect you. It takes a lot. I know two of my good friends right now who they've not been on social media for like 2-3 months. And one is writing an exam. The other one said that he noticed that his attention span has reduced. It's so short that he cannot even read something else without. So he decided that social media, I'm cutting it off. So you as an individual, you first of all need to know what's good for you. Because at the end of the day, if you keep using other people's lives. Because, I mean, when social media started, or rather when I started, checking for social media and started, then when I registered and started posting, what I normally used to do back then was I followed accounts that I looked up to. So it's not like I wanted my life to be like theirs, but it was entertaining, or rather it was kind of, what's the word I'm going to use now? It was exposing me to the things that I did not have or I did not see. So for instance, now I live in Nigeria, I probably don't travel as much, but on social media, you get to see people who travel to maybe Venice, you see people who travel to Paris, you are able to see things from a different angle, right? It's different when you see it and maybe you acknowledge it and you move on, but there's another difference now when you see it, you're not like wishing you were that person. When you haven't looked at yourself, first of all, to say, where am I myself? What am I doing with my life right now? And then you notice that that's now when you now start comparing yourself. That's when you start competing. And that's when people start talking about fake it till you make it. You now start living fake life.
Social climbing.
Start borrowing a Birkin bag because you want to rent a Birkin bag, or you want to rent a very expensive hair just to show off that, oh, you've gotten there. But you haven't gotten there. So what's even the essence? You're just giving yourself an unnecessary heart attack. Social media has actually done a lot of harm. It has done a lot of good as well, but the harm is more of a lot of people look at social media and they're not honest of the expression or how they feel. You just look at it and they've thought about whatever it is that the image or the video has actually, created for them, and they box it in. And that's where the competition now starts to come in, that they're looking at this person and say, I want to do this. And they end up doing things that are not like, that's where you hear girls, oh, they're sleeping with married men because they have to make that money. You hear, oh, this one is doing Yahoo, or this one is doing fraud. It's just because of that competition. They don't really need that money. That's why whenever they make the money, they don't use the money to do anything reasonable. It's to go and buy luxury and buy other things. Then at the end of the day, they are still broke again. So it's still like the same cycle, but it's based on their mentality.
But let me come to you.
Okay.
What are your thoughts?
So I was thinking about two things, The people who created these platforms, the geniuses, I love them, I love that they got into the market really early and they realized that this is a part of human psychology that I can exploit and be rich for the rest of my life, and they did it. If that's something that we continue to do as we innovate, it will be very useful for us to also think of ways to exploit a part of, that's not a good thing to say, but, when you're going into a market, you have to think about how this is going to be bought into. And I'm not even sure they precedented this, like it just happened in a way that they could never have fathomed that this is how far it would have come. That's number one. Two, there are other people who have gone as far as creating applications that you can use to lock yourself out of social media. That's how bad that's gotten. People have become so helpless that they realize that, you know what, I can't help myself. I need to lock my app before I need to do something to my phone. I think the first step is even realizing that it is an addiction. Right? Social media itself, that's mindless. They call it doom scrolling. You're just online, you're scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. That's one thing to deal with. But then I also think the people who do these things, right, they're not always online because they want to pay you. Somebody's probably just going around living their life, their rich life, right? And they know that if they record every moment of that life and put it online, they'll get paid for it. They're trying to make money. It's a business, first of all. Yeah. It's not some evil that came out of the 90s. And then there are people that just post things for the sake of posting them. We know those people, right? I'm sure some of us know those accounts. And maybe the best thing to do, it's very hard, but maybe unfollow those kind of people. I get riled up a lot by social media. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just that kind of person. And I don't know how to post the way other people post. She has a problem with how I post. Sometimes my feed is full of things, and tomorrow when you come back, they're all gone. I have anxiety with social media. When I post something, I feel like I'm shaking. So I go and hide it instantly. I can't bear the thought of having something personal and private.
Why did you not post it in the first
Because in that moment, I wanted to share it. But then as it's gone out there, I'm thinking, oh my God, I don't want to share this. So I can quickly remove it. That's the way I use social media. And then yesterday, I think because of Chivido, someone said something to me. So a platform was posting about Chivido on their Instagram. They were detailing a timeline of their relationship from, and then they mentioned a tragedy. You know the tragedy I'm talking about. And the way that they mentioned it was quite flippant. And I thought, so I commented and said, what is the relevance of this tragedy that you've mentioned to this overall post? The person who it happened to hasn't even gotten to a point where she's able to speak about it. You're just writing it as one of those things. So people were saying, oh, they have to talk about part of their relationship. And someone just came and said, your school fees have been wasted, Abi, or you don't know how to like insulted, yes, to me. Like, school fees have been wasted, blah, blah, blah. And I read it. I was so shocked, I couldn't even be angry. I was just shocked that somebody would randomly come online, pick up their phone and type that vile
Where
to
she
me.
did? Is she in Nigeria?
No, not really, because...
It's to her now.
Yeah, to
do
me.
you get, it's a different thing when celebrities actually talk
Yeah.
about trolls actually saying
Talking
nonsense
about
at
them.
them.
Trolls are
But I'm just using the
everywhere,
internet and
it
someone
is-
just...
see, let me tell you something, because again, most times people hide behind the keyboard.
Yeah,
right?
they become so audacious
Do you
because
know what
you
I'm
can't
saying?
see them.
Yeah.
They can't see you.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like, people have come on social media. I always say, first of all, you cannot shame the shameless. You cannot tell me the thing that I do not know already about myself. And secondly, you cannot come and do something that I will now be shaking. You know, it's not me you can rile. Let me borrow in English. You cannot rile me.
Yeah.
But let me say something though, right? I liked what you said about the idea that people want to, post certain things, certain parts about their life.
Yeah.
And that is the genius that this social media
Was created.
I mean, it's so genius that, because again, they understand that everybody inside of them, they have some spirit of boasting.
Yeah.
You understand? So they are feeding
Everybody's
that.
a show off. Yeah.
And again, everybody inside of us, we have some small element of envy. So it feeds. So it depends on how much you continue
You
to
as an
feed
individual.
it.
Yeah.
Do you understand? It will keep growing.
Yeah.
And that's what has happened with social media.
Yeah.
You know, they said that Instagram is the biggest platform of envy. Right? Literally, if that car that they say custom made, nobody has the car in the world that Chama got. Oh my God. Somebody now has gone to meet the husband. Baba, you say you're a billionaire.
Yeah.
How far?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These are the things that happens and that is why influencers, like the top influencers abroad, that is why they will continue to give them things.
Yep.
Yeah.
You will see Rolex, they will give this one. You will go and use your money to buy the
go and
Rolex.
buy it.
Rolex.
That's
But
Yeah.
the Rolex that you saw
Was
on
PR
somebody's
package.
wrist, it was
Exactly.
a gift that was given.
Yeah.
That's why people rush to style celebrities. Because it is, in the end, it's not the celebrity that is paying. It is
all.
your money that they will use.
That's
you
a
know.
target. Yeah.
They also, even with anything, jewelry, anything at all, right? That is why the influencer business is a big business.
Huge.
Because they understand that they need to feed the minds of the,
Yeah.
they need to either feed your greed, feed your envy, feed your that desire to want to show off. Right?
To want more.
Yes, that desire to want to show off. They need to keep on feeding it with social media. And social media was just perfectly created for that. But you know what? We'll take a break, right? When we come back from that break, I want to now discuss this China banning it. Do you think, it's a good thing, or do you think that the responsibility should be on the person using it? All right, we'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Nigeria, by extension, Africa, is faced with a lot of challenges.
With the growing youth population and very little engagement.
That is a ticking time bomb.
We're blessed people with a diverse culture who have a lot to say.
And yes, we are talking.
It is important we drive conversations that informs, inspires, and influences thoughts and actions.
If we say there is beauty in diversity, then let us embrace our diverse culture.
We must continue to courageously be the voice of transformation.
As we are the hope for the future.
Yesterday's conversation shaped today.
What are you saying to shape your tomorrow?
We know you have a lot to say, and we are here to hear you.
All right, if you just tuned in, we're having a conversation around managing our mental health, right? Managing your mental health and, of course, amidst the display of wealth on social media. Now, please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join this conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081 803 84663. Our phone line is also now open. You can call us on 07025007749. So the question I asked before the break was, do you think it is it is important for the government to step into this display of wealth. Because I remember that time, there was a time on Instagram, they started not showing people's likes.
Yeah.
And the handles became very uninteresting because the thing that feeds it is the number of views that people can see, the number of likes people can see, you know, and all of those things again, because that's also what even eventually brings the market, right? I think they kind of like relaxed on that because they saw that it was not, because the platform now became very not interesting. Yes, it wasn't interesting anymore. So do you think, right, the government should be in, like the way China has taken the lead to say, you know what, anybody that is showing all those luxurious things, you know, should we have that kinds of what's it called, check measures in place here, or do you think the people using it themselves should be the one to say, you know what, hey, we ain't doing this?
I think the government is right to step in. And I say that, for me, I have even stronger views on how social media should be regulated, but I don't want to come off as a tyrant or someone who's not, you know, like, progressive.
Why?
I feel that people should have some sort of psychological evaluation before they're allowed to onboard on certain social media platforms. Especially when you have such a huge following that some of the things you do will influence society, whether you want it to influence society or not. Today, what Nigerian influencers say is, I'm not your role model, but you are. You're making music, you're putting things out there that are not good for society. They are going to influence society. They know that they have that power. It's sort of like a false, like, humility, like, oh, I'm not your role model, but you are a role model. So I feel like the government really needs to step in. In South Korea, the government stepped in for people because of population is dwindling. They went as far as saying, no, we'll give you money. If you give birth, you know, we'll subsidize this, we'll do that. It wasn't working. They are one of those countries that the statistics shows that they might be going extinct very soon because of the way that their women aren't giving birth. So when the government saw that just throwing money at the situation wasn't working, they started brainstorming how else to influence society to a point where women are giving birth. I think that's the same way the government should be involved in how society uses something that influences the whole of society.
Okay.
If you come online now and you see women with, you know, perfect bodies, figure eights, do you know that some of the doctors just do it for free? They don't pay monies for their bodies. They go to the hospitals. The hospitals call to say, oh, you're a big person. You know, your nose looks a bit wonky. And that's probably something you've been thinking about since you were a child. They say, come in, we'll do the procedure for free. But they won't come to disclose that the procedure has been done for free. Then there are people struggling to make bar to go do that procedure. And then there's the risk of every surgery, but especially surgeries like that. And those things are continuing. So if you put a ban and say, don't show your wealth, maybe we can even go as far as saying, don't show certain things. You know, it's really, really important, because if we don't do it, right, and when the society turns into a menace because of the effect of that wealth showing and the show-off and everything, the government is going to feel it. Tomorrow now, somebody will snatch my phone because, you know, your girlfriend is pressuring you because she saw an iPhone 14 on one influencer's hand, or 15, and now you've snatched my phone. Yes, it's, it's 16. Now you snatched my phone. You're a thief. You know, they could even in the process of taking my phone, something else could happen. That we might not, you know, empirically like draw the line and say this guy, he particularly saw this post, that's why he did it. But that is what will happen in the long run. So if you've already seen that that's a problem that is about to come, they should step in. There's certain posts, you shouldn't make them. In fact, they should even go into an agreement with the platform. If you make those posts, they'll take them down. Just the way if you put some false information now, it will be flagged. They need to flag it and take it down, because we're causing a problem that will be worse than drugs and everything that we're trying to chase now. It will be worse in the coming months. So I think that they really need to step in. They should.
I'm glad that they
You know, there was a year that Don Jazzy, I think he said something around why he chose, because I think before then he was wearing a lot of designer clothes and something had happened. I can't remember the story clearly now in my head. But he now just decided to start wearing robes or something. And he was asked, he said, he said because he didn't want to make it seem to these young people that, you know, he was kind of like concerned, like what you're saying, that he didn't want to be that the reason why people start to do something wrong, right? Just all in the name of, I want to wear the kind of things that done. So he kind of like toned down the kinds of things he was, you know, wearing and all of that, right? So, and that really, you know, it spoke volume about his person, right? It spoke volume about his person. But on the flip side, and let me come to you, Alera, because these people that display these things is intentional. And that is how they make the numbers. That's how they make the money. That's how they sell. So this thing you talked about, BBL, have you noticed that every single page on Instagram that is selling clothes
They're all
every girl that is selling clothes on it, they have the perfect hourglass shape
for the clothes,
right?
Yes.
And you will go and order with your one pack like me. You go and order that dress, and you now realize that the body
it
doesn't
come with the dress.
You go say, how far? May I go see that your doctor? And you know, I have seen that even this BBL thing, it has gone on. It's so ridiculous and so horrible. You know, I don't know how these women think that they look at their bodies and they feel attracted by these things. I've seen it in real life. It looks really, really horrible. I'm not a fan. I can never be a fan. Do you understand? It looks really funny. It looks tacky. It looks funny. Once I see a BBL body, I just say, this is not we're not together. Yep. You know, so now imagine how it's just the crave for BBL
right now
quadrupled. But you see, on the back of that, somebody is making money.
Of course.
The doctor doing the surgery. So when you say ban, how will the doctors make their money? How will the people make their money? They're selling their businesses.
They're not the only one, and you're right. Because one celebrity posting maybe the latest Louis Vuitton bag or the latest Christian Dior bag, and the next thing, the store in a particular location is actually sold out. Why? Because that person went there, or you traveled abroad, you go shopping, or you go somewhere, and then you're just doing. And you know the funny thing is that we have like two different types of people on social media. There are the people that genuinely are just showing you their journey, showing you what they're about,
and their testimonies.
If in between you see a video or a picture of their Louis Vuitton bag, or you see a video or a picture of their Gucci, you know, whatever they have, it's a different situation, because they are not, you know, carrying their phone and placing it on the item. They're telling you their story, and in between you're seeing all of that. Then there are now the specific people, which a lot of other, would I say, younger or newbies are now like copying to say, oh, it's your birthday, there's a box of designer whatever on top of your bed with roses and flowers. Who did that for you? Or there's, I mean, I'm not saying nobody can't do it, but the number of people who are, you know, portraying and putting that display.
I have a response to that.
It is now becoming a bigger issue. So even the people that are now using social media to tell their stories or to even do something more positive, it's sort of like rubbing off on these other people now, because it's not looking like, oh, we're both doing the same thing. But not everybody is actually doing the same thing. But it also still speaks to the people who are consuming it. It takes a lot of... I agree with Bofa when she said that maybe some people, maybe there should be like some type of mental evaluation before you go on social media. In China, when they banned this, they've also banned a couple of other things. There are some educational content now that if it's not in line with what they want their people to learn,
TikTok algorithm in China is completely different. But we have David on the line. Thank you for calling. Good evening. Are you there? Hello? Is he there? Did we lose him? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like there are a couple of ways you, as either an influencer or as a consumer, you just have to try your best to. Because at the end of the day, the people that you're envying, or the people that you're going to put yourself under pressure. And like you said, the ones that will steal, the ones that will cheat, the ones that will end up putting themselves into unnecessary, what they call, they say, like I said, fake it till you make it. So because you want to be like the second person, you have to do maybe multiple jobs.
No, but
you have
social
to
media was actually created, Alero, to help businesses, because
not
I
only
know
businesses, it's people.
Yes.
Before social media, there was Vine, there were a couple, and they were creating content to. It was more like an entertainment center.
No, but I'm saying that it has become more of a marketplace, because I've seen. I mean, look at the interview that Oprah did with Meghan and Harry. You remember that set, the couch and everything. The stores sold out just because that. So, I mean, internet has helped in terms of like business scaling, like growth. You just see an exponential growth, especially if your product is good, right? So that's why I'm saying that for me, in all honesty, there are some feeds that don't come on my timeline. And that's why I like what you said on follow.
Protect yourself.
There are some feeds that don't come on my timeline. See my Instagram page, and I don't know what I did to Instagram. I don't know who I offend. It has been on 19,100 forever, since 4 or 5 years.
Maybe a shadow band.
Maybe, or I don't know.
Me, I've been on 8K for like
2
years.
Years. It has been there. So, you know, sometimes I feel like, waiting, who I offend? But sometimes I just say, you know what, it's fine, you know? Because again, all those little things, like your following, your views. Some people say, I posted a picture, somebody has committed suicide on that. That because, I posted a picture and nobody likes the picture.
No, that means nobody likes me.
Nobody cares about so that's why I'm saying that, you see, we need to be intentional.
Yeah.
And that's why, EFCC banned the spraying of Naira. See what happened in Chivido. Dollars everywhere. Dollars flying everywhere.
They did not spray Naira.
They did not spray Naira.
I said I'm spraying it into a bucket or something.
No. The one they sprayed was dollars.
Oh.
It was, some people were spraying $100 bills. Some people were spraying $1 bills.
Right.
But they were spraying dollars there. So if you say you want to give yourself pressure, blood pressure, you know, be die, you go die.
Yes.
How can you keep up with those kind of things? So that's why I think, right? I get you when you say government should regulate, but I think the job is on you.
Yep.
I can't control what you choose to post. I can control what I choose to see.
Right.
Do you understand? Yeah. It's as simple as that. So if you decide to say you want to post whatever you want to post, I will choose what I want to see.
Yeah.
I tell people that, for instance, on my WhatsApp status, I post a lot. But I know they go anybody's status, go check anything you post. So if you were posting anything, thinking that you were, you maybe I would see it. It's a so people that actually want me to see things on my WhatsApp, on their WhatsApp status, maybe during my birthdays and all of that, they actually used to send me DM. Well, I check my WhatsApp status, so I put your picture there. Oh, thank you and all of that, because I rarely do that, and I do that just because I want to protect my sanity. My WhatsApp status for me is inspirational. I wake up every morning with a gratitude post. It is intentional. I told myself, I think I started that thing last year. I said, every morning I wake up, the first thing I should do is thank God. I might not be the traditional kneeling down praying, but my status is intentional. So I put that gratitude post to God, right? Then every other thing is my business. So I'm putting links of ways, I'm putting whatever. I don't have time. Do you understand? So we need to be very, very intentional about what we consume. Yes, they might want to ban it, they might not want to ban it, but if they choose not to ban it, you not say because of government. You know how some people blame other people.
You won't look at yourself.
Do you understand? You're not looking at yourself. You're blaming other people for your own actions or inactions. No. So I think the job should be more on you as a person. Tell yourself, these are the things I would consume. So, I mean, some people have gone on social media fast. They will tell you that I am going on a 2-month social media fast. Some people tell you 3 months social media fast and all of that. Unfortunately, me, I cannot fast. I cannot fast because my work is inside social media. This conversation we're having now is because I found the story in social media. So I have to check social media every single day. You know, so at some point, my sister was worried. Then she now said, I thought I said it's work that I'm working. I'm not there to go and be checking somebody's thing. I'm looking for news. I'm looking for things that are worthy of conversations on air and all of that, right? So most times when I'm on social media, I am working. I'm not there to go and say I want to go and be checking who is carrying. I see. In fact, I told somebody yesterday, I said all these babes that are following and they are just collecting Birkin's bag and the business class ticket. They should bring the men my way. I know what to use the money for, not Birkin's bag. And so, like, literally, like, how do you keep up with that kind of, like, your desires and your wants are insatiable, right? You see, when you buy, even if they bought you the world
you
today,
will still want more.
The excitement might just last for 24 hours. After that 24 hours, you're already looking for the next big thing. That is why your calling and your purpose must be higher than just, mere, material things. What motivates me, what moves me, is way higher than some of these things, right? So that's the intentionality of living that I want people to start to, to practice, that intentionality. I don't care what you wear. I don't care what you do. I am happy for you. I'm excited. You're doing
you
well.
Good, you look
and
nice,
all of that. But hey, this is where I'm going. Go ahead.
When we started this conversation, I said that I thought it was for like really young people. Those are the people that you can't protect. Those are the people that cannot practice the intentionality that we want them to practice. Like the person that committed suicide, she was really young. If she was older, if she had seen life, I don't think she would have gone to kill herself because of social media. But these guys exist, and those are the guys that need protection. If you're old enough, whatever that age limit is, to look out for yourself, to curate your feed, to see only the things that you want to see, to go on those fasts, to give yourself a break, to even recognize the emotion that you're feeling when you see that Birkin. If you're old enough to do that, then good, do that. But if you're not, if we're thinking about people that are coming, they're like 12-year-olds on social media. I don't know why.
How?
Or 17-year-old or 18-year-old. Sometimes they send you requests and I'm like, bro, I'm way older than you. but those people exist on social media. We have to protect those people too.
Yeah.
I really think that we should also